This is just Zach Ansbury Show.
So what was it about the advertising agencies that made you, or your interaction with them, that made you not necessarily want to be a part of that industry?
Well, I think that the sort of conclusion that I came to at that point was that at least it came across as an industry where if you were really interested in the sort of problem solving and what was probably called the sort of the strategy or planning aspect of it, things that I saw at the agencies that I visited or got in touch with, that didn't really seem like a very central, important role. It was, the impression I got was that it wasn't sort of the thing. It wasn't just as important as I thought it was, and it just didn't seem like an industry where I would be really happy working in and being
What did you find that they were looking at instead? They were more looking to be creative or to win awards for design?
Well, I'm just the sort of the thing that came to mind. Although I'm sure it's this is not how all agencies operate, of course. But there's this expression called backfilling the data. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think I've heard. Was it Kevin Roberts who said that famously? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so he had an idea. And then he backfilled the concept with data. So it felt a bit like that. So you had to. I'm trying to find the right English word for it, but sort of came across as if I'm not saying planners weren't involved at the beginning of the process, but I got the impression that in many cases they actually had to sort of post-rationalize creative decisions that were made in the process, and I don't know. So that's how it came across to me at the time. And again, there's undoubtedly agencies where things aren't like that, but that's sort of the idea that I got at the time. So I sort of started looking for other things, and as I said, I eventually got recruited by a management consultancy, and that's where actually some people would call it my first proper job in marketing probably started, but actually I felt like the job, the work at the studio was actually maybe even more marketing than I've ever done afterwards, in the sense that I was essentially, it was a small company, and I was responsible for various things, and just the commercial aspects of the business, so to speak. And I need to get new clients in. I needed to keep them happy, and everything around that. And that might actually be more of a real proper marketing job than advising clients on how they should go about their marketing. So I don't know. I consider it my first proper job in marketing, but yeah, sorry.
So was that that's not Commercial Works, was it?
No. That was that took a while before I started operating under that name. So just to finish off, indeed, I worked in management consulting for a while, and then oddly enough, so I'm going to be at I don't say this in English. It doesn't matter. I worked in management consulting for a while, but that sort of creative side of me kept pulling on me. I did actually. I did end up working for an ad agency for a while, because they sort of it was a very interesting agency. I felt. It was a Boston-based agency that set up their agency in Amsterdam at the time to service to global clients who were launching their brands globally, and those clients felt that having just one ad agency in the US wouldn't be sufficient to support those efforts, so they decided to open up so they sort of convinced the agency to open up another office in Europe, which ended up being Amsterdam, and I was lured into that adventure. As I said, I sort of couldn't resist the idea of not at least having a go at it once. So I decided to work for that agency. It was called Modernista at the time. It's not around anymore. And it was a sort of typical creatively led agency, like fairly similar, I would say, to sort of in profile, I would say to Wine Kennedy, if that makes any sense, if you know that name.
Yes.
And well, you need to experience things first, I suppose. And I think what I mentioned at the beginning, sort of became, well, not became reality, became true, or just as a sort of experienced hands-on that indeed, if you are interested in solving marketing problems, at least agencies are probably not really the right place for people like me. So it was a very interesting period, but sort of confirmed what I suspected, and that's when I ventured off on my own. Decided to leave the agency. I actually got promoted, but when I had my yearly review, I told them I was going to leave the agency and do something else, which was a bit of a surprise. On the other end, of my motivation made sense for them, so no hard feelings whatsoever. But